In this video, I move into what starts off as an empty 10x16 cabin in the woods and begin turning it into a functional tiny house. I dive into how I choose the design for the interior layout and begin building the furniture for the room, stumbling across a common problem in the practice of architecture along the way. The catalyst for this whole endeavor happened just a few days ago when I got kicked out of my room. Something about not doing the dishes enough or something.
You come back when you're ready to co-live!
His words had me bummed, but only until I remembered that over the past month I had been turning a 10x16 shed into a tiny cabin. Up to that point, I had improved its insulation, hooked up electricity, and finished out the interior. I knew it would be my new abode, a place to rest my eyes. But with the floor not doing the trick, I decided it was time to begin adding furniture, starting with the bed. To continue the wooden theme on the bedroom side of the cabin, I went with a metal bed frame with wooden accents. I unpacked the mattress, tested its comfiness, then turned my focus to the rest of the room. Earlier, I had begun planning an interior layout, and had gotten a feel for its rough dimensions by placing tape on the ground wherever the furniture would go. The design I came up with splits up the room into two parts. There's a bedroom side and a living side, split by a room divider that serves multiple functions. The divider alternates the side that it opens up to, having portions that act as a bedside table, a kitchenette, and a closet. The bedroom side will also have a second bedside table, while on the living side there will also be a floating desk that will double as additional counter space. To determine lengths and widths for the various portions of the room divider, I snuck back into my old room and took measurements of the existing furniture to see what works. With that information, I was able to sketch out and prepare a cut list for the 52 pieces that would make up the furniture, all of which would be made using sanded plywood. I used a thickness of 3/4 inches for pieces that would hold things like countertops and shelves, as well as cabinets and closet doors. For everything else, to save on costs, I used 1/2 inch plywood. With the pieces cut, I could start building the first piece, the closet portion. To connect everything, I would pre-drill holes and use 2-inch trim head GRK screws. Once I'm done putting everything together, I'll come back and cover the screw heads with wood putty. Now that the first piece was finished, I could begin to get a feel for the actual size of the room divider, which was slightly bigger than I expected, despite matching the dimensions of the tape that I had placed on the floor earlier. This small discrepancy between the planned and actual feel of designed environments is exactly why I'm excited to spend time in the space that I created. Until now, I've only ever designed and built spaces for others, which outlines a core problem in the practice of architecture. There's no skin in the game. Architects typically aren't the end users of their products, which can sometimes lead to architects designing to impress other architects, instead of creating an end product that its users actually enjoy. I'll expand on this concept in part 2, where I finish building the furniture, complete my move-in, and find out things that I overlooked in the design stage after living in this tiny cabin for a few days. Click right there for part 2.